Let's face it, we've all been seeing this happen. Book reviews have turned into a never-ending stream of 5-star reviews, but are all of those books actually that good? It seems like honest, critical, negative reviews are disappearing from the book review space. And I truly think that this is doing readers and writers more harm than good. If you're tired of all the sugarcoating and want to hear the real deal about why we desperately need those negative reviews back, then stick around. If you're new here, I'm Steph, a lover of all things stories, but not all stories. In an age where pretty much every book seems to be rated 5 stars, I feel like we're losing the art of critique. Negative reviews aren't just about pointing out the flaws. They help readers make informed reading decisions, and they can help authors with what parts of their writing they need to work on for their next project. So what happened to honest feedback, and why is it crucial? Let's talk about it. Traditionally, book reviews in literary magazines had a more balanced opinion, where critics were unafraid of giving you both the good and the bad of a book. And these reviews were seen as a really important part of the literary conversation, and they often gave readers a nuanced view of new releases. With the emergence of social media platforms like BookTube, BookTok, Bookstagram, and Goodreads, leaving a book review became more accessible and community-driven. However, as influencers started to create connections with authors and publishers, there was definitely a beginning of a skew towards positive reviews, which were and are often influenced by advanced reader copies or ARCs and sponsored content. We also have a culture of positivity kind of going around, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself, but in that culture, negative reviews are kind of seen as harsh or unkind, and most importantly, unsupportive of authors, especially with these tight-knit online communities that often will center on almost like a fandom around an author. You all know the fandoms that we're talking about. And this shift has led to a prevalence of overly positive reviews. And that often comes at the expense of honest critique and feedback. And the reason these reviews are becoming more and more positive is because of the fear of backlash from the online community. However, honest reviews can actually help build a connection between the reviewer, the author, and their community. And that's because honest reviews create a sense of trust. And it creates a wonderful landscape where authors and readers and the reviewer can discuss literary critique. Honest critiques also help readers make informed decisions about their reading choices, which will help them pick books that actually align with their reading preferences and also help them avoid things that they may find harmful to read. Negative reviews can also help authors grow. As long as negative reviews are given with a sense of compassion for the author, negative reviews can be essential critique and feedback for an author that will help them improve their writing overall. We also currently live in a society of echo chambers, but the world needs diverse opinions. Diverse opinions make sure that reviews offer a span of reader experiences. And also, diverse opinions can foster healthy and enriching conversations about books, allowing readers to discuss different interpretations and insights. This one in particular is really important for me because I'm in a book club where, honestly, because it's all people that we trust, we do share our completely honest opinions. And I've had my mind changed about a book after having an in-depth discussion about it with this group. And I know that they have had similar things based on insights that I've given them. So here are 3 examples of some negative reviews from the book community, their outcomes, and reactions to those reviews. First, let's talk about American Dirt by Janine Cummins. This book was heavily criticized by critics and readers alike, especially among the Latinx community, because they saw the portrayal of the Mexican community and migrant workers as being stereotypical and harmful for the Latinx community. Janine initially defended her work, but later she did acknowledge some of their criticism. She emphasized that her intention wasn't to write the book for Latinx readers, but to write it for white readers so that they could help build empathy for migrant workers. And this backlash brought about wider conversations about representation in literature, the responsibility of authors when writing outside of their own experiences, and the need for diverse voices in publishing. And I don't know about you, but I think those conversations are things we really need to be having and are continuing to have. Next up, let's talk about The Selection by Kira Cass. So this series was criticized by some readers for having shallow characters and predictable, repetitive plot lines. And these reviewers were particularly brutal around the lack of world building and character development. We've all seen authors behaving badly, and this was probably one of what I think the earliest cases I can remember of this. Of course, Kira kind of famously responded to a particular negative review on Goodreads, which honestly really furthered the conversation on an author's place in the review space. Personally, I think how this was handled was awful. Kira should never have had that conversation publicly on, I think it was Twitter at the time, with her agent. Like, that's just unacceptable. And then for the fans to go and dox the negative reviewer, authors, don't sick your fans on someone just because they didn't like your book. Enjoy the fans that you have. Your book is not for everyone, but it is for your fans. I'm sorry, just the idea of doxing someone to me is reprehensible. I understand that negative reviews, especially if they are written in a harsh tone that is not written with compassion, can be harmful to an author's mental health. If you are that sensitive that you cannot take negative critique on your writing, then don't read your reviews. The review space is for readers, not for authors. If you want to read your negative reviews so that you can figure out areas that you should focus on for improvement, then do that. But no, you are purposefully seeking out the negative critique. If you are only reading positive reviews for validation, I honestly don't know what to say. Yes, okay, validation feels great. Those good reviews feel great, but learn to take critique. All right, let's talk about The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. So The Goldfinch is a Pulitzer Prize winning book, but it received kind of mixed reviews. A lot of reviewers called it overly long and pretentious. And more recently, this book is being called out for its Asian stereotypes. Now, regardless about what you think of Donna Tartt and her personal views and how they were expressed in her writing, when it came to the reaction of these reviews, Donna Tartt got it right. She stayed out of it. Now, that being said, I've never really had any interest in reading any of her books, and now, after learning more about this discourse, I probably never will. But what this discord shows is that even highly awarded works can be polarizing, and they should be. But all of these examples show how negative reviews sparked important conversations. So according to my notes, I wasn't really supposed to intersperse my counter arguments, but I did. So I am gonna just kind of make a few other comments about kind of the other side of this conversation, just so you know where I'm coming from. Back to the fear of discouraging authors. Of course, as readers, we want our authors to feel encouraged to write more so that we can read more. However, an author needs to expect that when you put yourself and your work into the public sphere, you are going to face criticism. And you have to be ready to accept that negative criticism. The one thing I haven't touched on is the potential harm to the publishing industry. There is an argument that negative reviews could harm book sales and the publishing industry overall. However, a diverse range of opinion encourages healthier discussions overall and can help readers find books that truly resonate with them. If we don't tell publishers what we actually want, then we're just going to constantly be at the whim of whatever is trending. And more importantly, we need to tell them what we don't want. Now, I do think it's valuable to discuss the difference between unconstructive negativity and honest critique. Reviews that have honest insights and critique, even if they are negative, provide value to the literary community. I myself have been guilty of a few rant reviews, and as a content creator, I can tell you, y'all love them. You love the drama, because those videos are typically the ones that always do better for me. But let's all try to do better as a book community and provide honest negative critique instead of just trashing something you don't like. I'll be better about it if you will. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about leaving negative reviews on books? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's see what stories tomorrow brings.